Good morning all, and welcome to today's L&D Leadership Live, creating a culture of coaching, the 3 C's. Why is this even a focus though, and who does it impact, and what does it actually mean? And for those who haven't joined us on Leadership Live before, this is absolutely a live call. So I'm looking down here at the comments. You are welcome to join in the conversation. Interact as many times as you like. Share with us your wisdom on the topic and join in what we're talking about as well. We're going live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And if you're watching the recording, make sure you hashtag replay and join in too, because you never know how your insights will help someone else who just happens to be Googling at this moment or in the future for information and support on creating a culture of coaching. So let's pay it forward. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lindsay Lee Hobson, and I work with forward-thinking organizations to elevate their emerging leaders and create the ultimate next generation of leadership. And if you follow me here on socials, you'll see a few ways which I'm demonstrating emerging leadership in my life today, because I know as an emerging leader myself just how important it is that if you want to take today's early career talent, graduates, first-time managers, and new starters and turn them into tomorrow's innovative leaders, then you have to be doing the do in real time today. And if you're here live with me, make sure you say hi, and remember hashtag replay if you're catching this after the fact. So creating a culture of coaching. Why is it a focus? Who does it impact? And what does it actually mean? Well, as we've spoken about in quite a few lives and in the leadership, in the L&D forum that we run as well, and our L&D professionals in the membership are talking about this as well. So many companies around Australia and around the world are maintaining a hybrid or remote work environment in an effort to increase engagement within their business, because a recent Gallup report actually showed it very well. They showed that around the world, on average, 79% of employees are reporting as unengaged. And I can see the little eyeballs popping up. So if you're watching, make sure you comment and let me know where you're watching from and say hi and join in today's conversation. So to increase this engagement level, there's a couple of things happening. One of them is creating a culture of coaching. I think Nicola Price, and if you watch this, Nicola, big shout out to you. She's one of our L&D forum members, and she said it really, really well. Coaching is where you believe the gold is in someone else, in the person you're coaching, in the person in front of you, in the world around you, in the workplace. And really taking this on board, creating this culture in your company promotes, in essence, curiosity. Because they say the fastest way to be interesting is to be interested. And if you have a room full of interested and therefore interesting people, engagement levels are going to go up. It's a full circle. And the other reason that they're creating a culture of coaching, which is such a difficult sentence to keep saying over and over again, so shout out for me in the comments if you agree, is to develop and retain talent. And at the ABS, the Bureau of Statistics, Australian Bureau of Statistics, Feb 2022 12-month report, that's the words I was looking for, the acronym I was looking for, reported that in the 12 months up to February, 1.3 million people, or 9.5% of the workforce in Australia, changed jobs. And that is the highest number in 10 years. So that means our P&C, our people and culture, our training teams, our L&D professionals have, in the 12 months before February, inducted 1.3 million people. That's time consuming and expensive. So businesses are really focusing on how they can retain and develop their team members and their staff members as well. And creating a culture of coaching is absolutely one way to do it. So who does it actually impact? I'm hearing the rollouts from L&D professionals happening on all levels, so right through to senior execs, leaders, frontline managers, and even early career talent in my world too. But here's the thing, who's actually rolling it out? That's our L&D professionals. And anyone who has anything to do with L&D, so whether you're a speaker or an SME or a subject matter expert, or you train or facilitate any way, shape or form, you will appreciate just how difficult it is to change the culture of anything. It's an incredibly huge task. So snaps to our L&D managers who are taking on a mammoth thing, but also doing an incredible job at it. So it's imperative that we can actually understand what it means to have a coaching culture so that we know when we get there. So what does it actually mean? Well, I earned my qualifications as a life coach about 10 years ago, and there's a couple of things I picked up in that time, which I'd love to share with you today that I believe makes an amazing coaching culture. And when I'm hearing others reflect back to me as well, and not just my view in a teacup. But this isn't just about me getting on my soapbox and saying coaching's amazing, but it's about us coming together to create a really valuable thread and post for anyone now or in the future who is looking for support for creating a coaching culture. You may be searching for it on YouTube or LinkedIn or just on Google. So if you are watching this today, make sure you hashtag replay and let us know what you believe a coaching culture is and how you can make it amazing. Maybe you have some success or some experience and some lessons learned in rolling out a coaching culture that you can share with everybody who's reading this today, because you just don't know who could be whose life you could change by sharing just one little comment. So here's the three major things that I feel, or three of the major things I feel is really imperative in a coaching culture. And that's curiosity. Curiosity for me, though, isn't just a doing word, isn't just a feeling, it's a doing word, and it's seeking to understand the external environment. So in this case, it's the workplace and the people in it, rather than thinking about what you believe about the world around you. So rather than thinking about your opinion or your thoughts or having judgments on the workplace and the people around you, it's about actually seeking to understand. So the focus is external instead of internal, and that's the major difference there. But where it often falls down, curiosity is not knowing how to do it, how to demonstrate it. How do you actually show that you're curious? How do you have that external focus as opposed to the internal focus? Well, it's tapping into that inner child that you have going on in there and picking up everything and seeing how it works and making why your new favorite question, much to everybody's dismay, is a really important part of it. But it's also about asking powerful questions too. So if somebody says something to you that you're not sure about, being prepared with an array of powerful questions that you can just whip out because you know them so well and be like, that doesn't make sense to me. I'd really love to understand that, Mel. Could you please explain that? I would really like to know what you mean when you say that, or could you elaborate on this particular point? I'm curious to get to know to understand what you're saying. Adding in the phrase at the beginning, just curious, is one of the most powerful tips a coach ever gave to me. So I'm sharing that with you today as well. And in coaching school, they teach you that if you're engaged in a conversation with someone and your mind is thinking about something else, or thinking about what you're about to say next, or thinking about what you think about the thing they're talking about, then to paraphrase, no one actually says this, but to paraphrase, you're doing it wrong. And I want to extend on that a little bit. My extension to that is if you are in that place where you're able to demonstrate, so where you're able to really be in the moment with that person, then you are actually being curious. That's how you know you are being curious. Because if you're thinking about what you're going to do later, or the yoga class you forgot to go to this morning, or did I turn the oven off, or I have a very strong opinion about what this person's saying, instead of exploring what they're saying and understanding it from their perspective and seeking to understand it from their perspective and being so in the moment with them that that's all that matters in that very particular point in time. That's curiosity. That's how you know you're doing it. And that's a really good indicator for you that you're showing up in a curious way. What's another way that you can create a coaching culture? Well, it's actually coaching your people. And I know that probably sounds very obvious, but as a general rule of thumb, it's something that we think we do a lot of and actually doesn't happen a lot. And people do tend to accept what the majority of people around them are doing as a general rule of thumb, of course. So being coached as part of your standard practice is just being in your company is a huge part of creating a culture of coaching. And because it will actually become part of the conversation that your company is having, they'll be standing around the water cooler, so to speak, or jumping on a Zoom meeting or a team meeting for something. I'll actually start talking about this as my internet drops out and comes back. I hope that didn't disrupt you too much. So it's my personal recommendation, however, when you are running these coaching sessions, that they must be results driven, but not in a KPI way. So what I mean is a great coach will help you get to the bottom of what you want, why you want it, and how you will know if and when you get it. So having a super clear outcome that touches on those 3 points with every single team member that they understand. You don't have to get it. They have to be able to get it. They have to be able to embody this, because it's them who's going to say, yes, they achieved it, or no. You'll just be the truth check in that sense. You'll be able to say, hey, is this what you've got right now? This is what you listed as success or development for you. Is that what you're sitting in at the moment? Is that what you're experiencing? And they'll say yes. And you're like, great. You might do a little check with some follow-up powerful questions. And if they come back and they're, 100% in alignment and they're not questioning themselves, then they absolutely have achieved their outcomes. So if you don't have coaching currently as part of what you're doing, you can, of course, teach your particular team members to do it. I know Jim at Program does a lot of coaching himself and he's absolutely amazing at it. Otherwise, you can engage an external provider, and there is definitely no shortage of coaches out there. So if you're looking for a recommendation on a trainer or a coach, make sure to let me know because I can help narrow it down for you. The third thing I really feel is important from my experience and what others reflect back to me in their experience as well is coaching has to be fun. Because we do know from experience and what is reflected in those reports, people will learn and develop and are more malleable when they're having fun. And coaching is absolutely no different, and neither is culture too. So if you're trying to instill that coaching culture in your business, make that transition fun, make that change management fun, and people will get on board a lot quicker. But also when it's here, make it fun as well. So instead of making it just another checklist where people tick off and you put them all into their little boxes to make sure they all line up side by side, think outside the box. Think about how you can make this fun. There are so many different ways, and when you achieve it, you also help to eliminate the Debbie Downers because the roar of the many will deaden the grumbles of the few each and every time. So how can you make it fun? There are so many ways. You can have themed days around coaching ideas, and everyone has to get involved in a fun or silly way. You can recognize coaching champions of the month, somewhere that everybody can appreciate them. Or you could just host your coaching in a special metaverse world, or create the way that they engage with the coaching something different, something remarkable, literally. So let us know as well in the comments, #replay, what are your tips? What are your insights? What are your indications that shows you that a coaching culture is being successful? And what's your experience too? Because you just never know who's going to be supported by your help and support. And if you are looking for more peer support, feel free to reach out and let me know, because the Learning and Development Forum is where driven and passionate L&D professionals come together help each other with exactly these sorts of things. So thank you to whoever's sending me love hearts. Let me know if you're watching this, #replay. Reach out and let me know if you want to join us in the forum, or if you are looking for a coach or a trainer. Again, let me know. We'd love to help make some recommendations for you. And I'll look forward to seeing you on L&D Leadership Live. Have a great day, everyone.